23 out of the 42 remaining abducted train passengers have been released, thankfully. While the kidnappers had abducted 60 passengers, killed 9 and wounded several others. Our correspondent in Kaduna reports that 2 males and 1 female were released on Monday, while another female victim was released a few days ago. They are reported to have been released by the terrorists at a location inside the forest along the Kaduna-Abuja highway, where they were picked up by their relatives. It's, however, not clear if any ransom was paid. Arise News has gathered that family members directly negotiated the release of their loved ones without the intervention of the Nigerian government. Well, so far, 23 victims have regained their freedom and 39 are still in captivity. And joining me to take a look at the issue of insecurity is Temitope Olodo, security analyst. Temitope, it's so good to see you. It's been a while. Well, unfortunately, the circumstances that we meet again, not very cheery one. Let me bring this in, coming from a self-confessed bandit kingpin, Abu Sani, who says insecurity has become a business that everyone benefits from, including the government. What do you make of that? Is that what we're up against?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I've seen a lot of videos. Definitely, there are some members of our security establishment that are benefiting from the insecurity. And war is money. War is business. There are people that make money. People are supplying weapons. People are supplying them with food. There is conflict entrepreneurs, as they call them. So there are people that are benefiting from this conflict. It's just sad that we are in this situation, a great nation, great people, and we found ourselves in a situation where even the federal capital that is meant to be the safest environment in Nigeria is not safe. So if ordinary bandits with no armored tank, with no plane, can actually hold the government in their jaw, what will happen if a foreign country decides to invade us? That is the situation where we find ourselves, unfortunately. And good people, good Nigerians need to sit up now, just as it's done all over the world. Politics need to be set aside. The president, who is the father of the nation, need to call PDP, APC, call everybody, and they need to have a meeting to find a solution to this ongoing crisis, because we are now at a war path and there is no solution at sight from this particular government on a way forward.
Almost re-echoing what we heard from the federal government when it says, look, we have done all. As a matter of fact, we have exceeded what is expected of us in tackling this never-ending, basket case. Let me bring it to the issue. What happened yesterday? The presidential elite, guard was attacked. Yeah. And just like you pointed out, Abuja seems to be coming more and more under the, attack of terrorists. Is it that this government has really, no more ideas as to what to do? And hopefully, in the course of this discussion, we can actually come up with real, concrete, far-reaching solutions. But what do you make of government saying, look, we've done all that's needed to be done?
I totally disagree with their perception or with their view that they've done everything they could do. Even on your channel alone, there's a lot of individuals that have been brought on board who have been giving good information both within and outside the country. And I've not seen any of those information, being used by government. You have interviewed so many security experts, practitioners, and good Nigerians who have been giving information. So it's either they are deaf or they don't watch their TV. It's either one of the two. But I know for sure that if the Americans, the British, the Australians, Canadians are all saying that their citizens should be careful of coming to a city or coming to a country because of the insecurity, then we all need to start asking our question, what is the government doing? I used to say that when a government is not fit for purpose, it is high time that they bring other people on board to do the work for them. Because at the moment, I don't think the people in place have enough information to do what they need to do. It's as if they're not doing anything. And what I'm most afraid of is the individual that were released yesterday. One of them said that even the government was sabotaging the effort to have them released. That is something that is so, so difficult to swallow, because if as a Nigerian citizen, I find myself in a situation where I am being adopted, I should have it at the back of my mind that the Nigerian government is working to get me released. And even if in the event of trying to get me released, I get killed in the process, I will even still be reassured in my mind that, okay, you know what? I was killed in the process of them coming for me. But where the Nigerian government is not doing anything to have its citizen released, that is a shame on that government. And I think all good Nigerians, we're not talking about politics now, we're talking about people's life. And the fact that we are having selective approach on who to come after, who to release and who is not being released, is either they have money or they don't have money, then that is a serious problem that we need to tackle right now.
It really is. And I'd like you to address the issue of, families of victims of abductions actually dealing directly with these terrorists, of course, negotiating with them. And, how does it further complicate this issue? Does it give oxygen to terrorists and terrorist activities? Is that what's further, fueling this kidnapping and abductions across the country? What needs to...
It's the incompetence of government that is causing this. If you go to a well-civilized society where their security system is working, when somebody gets kidnapped, the police, who are meant to be the first contact, they have what they call care workers, people that work for the police, who are specialists, who are meant to deal with the family. So they will support the family, and they will be the ones giving the family information. Family does not need to watch the TV to get information, because somebody is attached to them. They call them family liaison police officers. They will work with those families and say, you know what, this is what is happening. You can't talk to the public, to TV or radio, because we are doing this. We don't even want the bandit to know who you are. Because if the bandit know who you are, they could even send people to come and discuss with you. But if government is doing that, if they are engaging, so for example, if I was advising Mr. President, for example, how many families, 60 families, book an hotel, put all the 60 families in an hotel and pay for their food, and take care of them and give them advice, get psychologists to talk to them, get people, even the fact that government is sending people to talk to them, people are talking to them, they will be reassured. They will not even need to be talking to the media or talking to the bandits. But when government has left that gap, where anybody is going to speak to those families and they can actually now pick up their phone and be negotiating with the bandit, it shows the incompetence of government, the incompetence of the Nigerian police in the first place. We need to start asking questions. What does the Nigerian police have? The family liaison unit that are meant to liaise with families who are victims of crime. Because if you don't have that, then what's the point of it, of saying that the police are working on it? And the fact that even if they're giving us review, for example, even if since this incident have happened, we've not had the police come up and say to us, oh, this is what we are doing. Even if they say, oh, we cannot tell you, Madam Ngozi, we cannot tell you what we have done, but we have engaged, we are doing this. There is a group that is engaging with these people. If they even do that alone, Nigerians will have confidence. But the fact is that they're not doing anything, and people are coming out of the party and saying, yeah.
Yeah, Temitope, that seems to be what government is saying. When people say, look, flatten them out, flatten the locations of the terrorists, like we've heard the governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, say over and over again, just bombard the areas where these people are. Government is saying, look, we cannot really do that because we jeopardize the lives of the innocent Nigerians who unfortunately are caught in the line of fire. Isn't government, in a very precarious situation between the devil and the deep blue sea here?
No, they're not. They're not. It's just more or less showing the incompetence of our government and our security service. Let me tell you something that I saw in February when I was in Nigeria. I was fortunate enough to get on a train that was not adopted, or that kidnappers did not get on. I traveled from between Lagos to Ibadan, and I saw a special, they call it special squad. The guy was wearing a t-shirt with special squad, police special forces, and he was wearing the slippers. That would never happen. I've worked on the train. I've worked with security experts. This guy was meant to be booted up with all his weapons and everything and walking around the train. But this guy was wearing mere sleepers. Are you telling me that Nigerian police or Nigerian army do not have special units, and those special units can go by leg with motorcycle to go into that area and engage and encircle those people? Once they are encircled, these guys will negotiate because they don't want to die. They are coming out to collect money now. What are they going to do with the 100 million and all this money they're collecting? They're going to spend it. So if Nigerian military or police is telling us that they don't want to bombard, nobody is telling them to bombard. Even a 10-year-old in secondary school that is learning about security know that the military do not need to bombard. They can drop, special units can enter and penetrate that place. That is what they are trained to do. They can do hand-to-hand combat. They can use small weapons, mobile weapons that they could use. They could jam those people's phone so that they can't even call for reinforcement. There's a lot that we can't talk about on TV that they can do, but it just shows you the incompetence of our security service in handling this issue. And we as Nigerians need to start calling them into question and saying to the Nigerian president, you have about a year to go. If you can't do this job, move out of the job and let somebody that can do it, or remove these people that can't handle this work. Very simple.
There was a time when all the hue and cry was, look, we've changed the service chiefs. They've, run out of ideas. And the president eventually did that. And still, it just refuses to go away. What do you think is really missing in this war against, insecurity? And how much urgency do you think has been attached to this, the issue? Look, we've received the 12 Super Tucanos. Only today we hear that Turkey has delivered 6 attack helicopters, to Nigeria. And God knows how many more weaponry and all of that that's in the arsenal of the Nigerian army. But what do you think is really missing in this war on the Nigerian side?
I think what is missing is the lack of an implementation plan, the lack of strategic redeployment of personnel to deal with issues that need to be dealt with. Let me tell you, every city in the world, competent city, we have what they call a safer security plan. So what is Abuja's safer security plan? What are the top 10 security challenges in Abuja, and who is handling them? So if we look at terrorism as one of it, if we look at banditry, if we look at armed robbery, if we look at one chance and all that, those kind of things, that's what you do. When you now look at all the crime, you then say this is the way we want to tackle it. And on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, there's a risk assessment that is done. Well, most of my colleagues come on TV to talk about these things. We don't even know if there's a risk assessment. If there is a security attack on Abuja now, and there's all this bombing going on, where would Mr. President be moved to? They've even attacked Mr. President's convoy. They are attacking his private. What is left? If they say, well, they want to adopt Mr. President and the governor of his state, why would we, as civilians, say that they can't do it when we've seen that they can attack his convoy and there's no backup plan to ensure that the people that do that have been picked up? Look at the number of days since when it happened. Nobody has been paraded on TV as being responsible. That means that God forbid, that if it was Mr. President that was attacked and he got injured, these people, this same security, incompetent security, would not have been able to bring these people to book. That's what we are talking about. They can't bring anybody to book because they don't have a containment strategy. In the UK, I was involved in policing. If there is an attack in a particular area, the whole area, you could see on your map that this is the entry point. And you could say, based on this entry point, this is where we're going to block them. You see car chase on TV. When there's a car chase, even the police will withdraw because we know that wherever they are going, they can't go to heaven. They can't disappear into a Stargate like we watch on Stargate 1. They are going to land somewhere. They're going to stop somewhere. So we can go after them there if we think it's dangerous to even engage them at this point. If they are collecting money, let them collect the money. We know we can trace the people that they are paying the money to. We know we can pick them up when they go into the market. We hear of them going into the market and nobody is challenging them. We hear of them being turbaned as a chieftaincy and nobody is going after them. That is the problem.
Temitope, if I may come in here very quickly, isn't that where Intel really is very crucial? I mean, in the closing down of Unity schools in Abuja, government tells us, there seems to be some kind of intel or information, if you like, that, schools may be attacked, especially following the one that was attacked in Kwali. Intel, how much of it really is available? We've heard security, experts like yourself say, look, what seems to be missing is community assistance. You cannot really fight this war without the community's buy-in, getting their confidence to provide information that can lead to intel, and all of that. Why are we not really using intel? Is it really missing, or that intel comes in and our security forces just don't use the intel?
I believe it's two things. I believe that the intel, this is my personal view. Some people might disagree with me. I've worked in one of the best, group organizations that gather intel, and I've seen and spoken to some of the Nigerians that are involved in gathering intel, and there is still a gap in the collation and dissemination of intel. That's the first bit. So they need to build that capacity. The second bit is corruption. Because let me tell you, every security force, the Navy, the police, the army, they all have intel group. But the problem is, the question we need to ask is, the money that is meant for the intel, what is happening to that money? We need to start asking questions, because all these groups have money that be budgeted for them, which they are meant to give to people. What are they doing? Are they pocketing that money into their own pocket, or are they giving that money out? And when they get actionable intelligence, how are they doing it? I think there is one advice I'll give to Mr. President. I think there is a need to bring all the intel group together under the office of the president, so that they are coming together and gathering intelligence, like create what we have in the UK called the Office for Security and Counterterrorism, which will bring all the different security intels together, so that they could all work together. Because I also believe that there are intels that are falling through the cracks because these people are not negotiating or not engaged. I know DSS will gather intel, but they will not share with the police. I know police will gather their intel and they're sending it straight to the Inspector General of Police, when they should be giving that intel to their counterpart, who is the civil defense, next to them, just a few yards away from them. I don't see the reason why everybody is hiding intel, because this intel is necessary for it to save life. But the problem we have is corruption is one of the problems, because all the money that is meant for intel, I don't think they are using that money effectively. Otherwise, we will have seen improvement. I'm happy that at least they have given preventive information, which means that at least parents are prevented from crying. They could go and take their children and keep them at home, but there need to be more that need to be done to ensure that those children are not going to lose out in their education. But also the bandits are winning, because we are not putting in place measures to ensure and to show them that we as Nigerians are not. We are 200 million plus. All the bandits in Nigeria are not even up to 1 million. So are you telling me that we cannot consume them as 200 million Nigerians? The president should call PDP, AFPP, whatever, let them come together and have a national meeting and leave politics aside and say, we want to use 1 month to deal with these people. Anyone that needs help, we will help them. The ones that don't need help, we'll get rid of them. And that is what we need to do. And that cannot happen if we don't have a national consensus as Nigerians to deal with this issue.
Someone's been calling for an urgent National Council meeting where these issues will be tackled very quickly. But back to the issue of the Abuja-Kaduna victims. The bandits or terrorists or kidnappers continue to say, look, the government knows our demands. Government knows what we want. Until government does it, we will either kill those people. I mean, it's heartbreaking to actually hear that, What exactly do they want? Is it really just about the monies they get from these abductions, 100 million here, 100 million there? Or is there more to it? Is there more that we, don't seem to understand?
From all indication, there is more to it. There are different narratives that are out there, but we can't actually come up with one solid one, because at the end of the day, government hold their intelligence. There is an adage where I come from that says, the child that is crying know why he's crying. The mother that is petting the child know why they are petting the child. The bandits that are saying the government know what they want, know why they are saying that. The government also know why those people are saying that. Who is negotiating on behalf of government? And why is it that even the people that have been released are saying that government is not engaging? Because remember, these bandits are talking to the victims and telling them that your government is not engaging with us. So there must be an element of truth in that, that somebody is not doing what they are supposed to do? Is it that there's some people, fifth column economists, fifth column that are ensuring that government is not engaging? Is there some saboteur there that is ensuring that this thing is not working? Because I don't understand why, when people are adopted, there is not a group of police officers, military intelligence, who are working around the clock, who set up a command and control, as I know it, set up a command and control, gather intelligence, arrest who needs to be arrested, and give you these people. Say, okay, what do you want? You want some of your family members that were adopted, because that's what we had. Negotiate them and get these people back, because you know you can pick these people up afterwards. But nothing is happening. We're not seeing that. Look at the Kuje attack 21 days after. We're only getting a sprinkle of people that have been picked up. And we know as a result of that, that's the reason why we're seeing the fallout in Abuja, with all the insecurity that is going on. And my advice to people is, watch where you are going, because if you get adopted by these people, we now know that the government is not going to negotiate for you. And that is the worst feeling that any Nigerian could have, that if you are holding a Nigerian passport, even Americans fly 3,000, 4,000 miles away to come and pick their own citizens. And we that are just few kilometers away, they are releasing people into our high street, our high road in Kaduna, Abuja road, God, for God's sake. And yet nobody can go after them. And we have a helicopter. We can release 4 helicopters for election, but we can't even release 1 helicopter to fly around. And immediately they said those people have been released, fly in the sky, gather intelligence, drone. People want to collect drones, you refuse them to collect drones. And yet we say this is a government. No, this is not a government. This is a caricature government. With all due respect, the security service is not fit for purpose, and we need to now call them to question and ask them exactly what they are doing. We want to see their books. We want to see the money that is being given to them, and we want to see how they are spending it. The president needs to set up a presidential committee, which is made up of ordinary Nigerians that are not partisan, who will go into this and look at exactly what the military, the security services are doing. Because from all indication, it is as if they are just sitting on their bum and not doing anything. And they are the ones that are quick to call people armchair analysts, and yet they are not doing things. They are like plastic military that is not doing anything. And I'm very, very fed up. I know many Nigerians are fed up. We love our military.
Temitope, yeah, exactly. I'm so glad you say that, because it may sound, really uncharitable if, soldiers who put their lives on the line to protect us continue to hear that they're incompetent and they don't care and all of that. Definitely a salute to all our soldiers at the forefront. But now that, while the solution to the insecurity challenges are being dealt with at the top, how can Nigerians protect themselves? I'm sure you watched that documentary, 50-minute documentary by BBC. And one thing that really jumped at me, one of the villagers made a statement, of course in Zamfara there, we can defend ourselves better than the government can. Can we? Oh, yeah. How do we do that?
Yes. There are a lot of things we can do, both preventive, protective, preparatory. So for Nigerians, you need to have numbers of loved ones on your phone so you could call when you're in trouble. When you hear about trouble, you need to use every opportunity to run away from trouble. Don't wait. Don't record. When you see trouble, run away as fast as you can. Protect your house. Reinforce your house. Reinforce your house to the level that you know that the rapid response of the police. What's the rapid response of the police in your area? What's the number of your DPO? We know the police have done good in that. They're giving out their numbers to say this is the numbers of DPOs and people in your area. Save that number so that if there's a problem. And then I will advise that landlords in areas should call the police to come and advise them about what they need to do in their local areas and how to have vigilantes in their areas to at least raise alarm when people are coming in. So there are things they could do. And I think it's important that I highlight, we love our military, we love and respect them, and the ones that are giving ultimate sacrifice, we will never forget them. We will always continue to remember them because they are good police officers, they are good Navy officers, they are good police, and we want the police to continue to engage. We want the military to continue to engage with us. So there are protective things they could do. But if anybody enters your house with arm, you can match that arm with whatever you have in your house, and you can deal with them, and the law will protect you on that perspective because it's self-defense. When people enter your arm to kill you, ultimately, you can protect yourself. That's allowed, but we are not encouraging anybody to go out there to go and get illegal weapons to protect themselves. No, you must not do that. Nigerian law does not allow you to do that, but you could use protective measures, preventive measures to keep yourself safe.
Temitope Olodo, it's unbelievable. There's still so much to talk about, but we'll have to leave it there. Temitope Olodo, security expert, joining us on the Arise interview. That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow. From me, Ngozi Alebu, and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.